Here we are. Now, I only just realized after I ran all around, right down to my job site and back again, that all of my clamps were basically at my job site, and I didn't, like I said, put that together until I got home. So I had to do a little bit of customizing here to get this clamp today the way I wanted. To begin with, we got everything jointed, brought it home. I set up two groups here. I clamped them together, but there's no glue in this joint. These have been glued and these have been glued, and there's no glue in the middle. I just clamped them as one unit just to maximize efficiency here. But I set everybody out and I sent them up and down and flipped them over, so I came up with an A side and a B side. We're looking at both A sides right now. And then I used a big carpenter's square to throw a line beginning, and then I measured 26 inches down and I threw another line across. No matter where the ends lied, I just had it grouped and slid back and forth for composition. And then once I had the pencil ends on there, I carefully and orderly stacked up one group, went to the miter saw, cut everybody, restacking it in order, came back and unstacked it out of order, repeat again, and everybody was 26 inches and all set up correctly. And then very methodically with glue, I wanted the ultimate. I don't mess around when it comes to wood glue. I know the other wood glues work just fine, but I hate to have something glued and have it get wetter than expected, or have something happen and have done all of this work, and it's just as easy to use the ultimate. It may take a little longer to dry or something. That'll be what somebody says, but it's just as easy to use as ordinary wood glue. But for all the work and effort, it's my best foot forward. I don't want to have a glue failure because I just used regular Titebond and I didn't use the waterproof or whatever, so I use that all the time. But then I just threw a very light, fast bead up down everybody's edges and spread it with my fingers. I put glue on both edges that were coming together always, and tucked them all in. Just visually lined up one end here, slapped two bar clamps on, and then I daisy chained. I had these two quick grips that didn't quite reach one another. I would have just daisy chained that way. They reach out, and then I grabbed them with this for the middle. And then I laid these are nice clamps. I like this style because you can lay the bar down so where it's tight to everybody. And then I bit right onto the bar at each corner and onto the bench with a clamp and another clamp, sandwiching that down. I did the same here and here, and then I blasted everybody down tight to the bench with a mallet, which won't really mar the surface, and snugged everybody up again. And this fell over here, so I'll snug him up, but continue to snug everybody up and pack everybody tightly down. Check that it's not stepping up and away from the counter. It's not going to be a perfect surface, but we want to put our best foot forward so that when we come and send these through the sander or the planer, it's the absolute least amount that has to come off to create a flat plane, and that preserves our overall thickness in the end. So we just, every step of the way, we put our best foot forward. So I'm checking the gap here. It seems good. Stuff does walk a little bit when it's wet with glue, and even after you've got like final tightness on your clamps, you can do a little adjusting. And if you have a real troublemaker, I'm actually going to come back and bite, just like these corner clamps. I'm going to bite in the middle onto the bar, which disperses that pressure out to everybody else to either side to the best as I can, and suck that down to the table. I'll just keep clamping. You can never clamp it too much. I do also have big chunks of steel, various big chunks of steel that I may set on there as weight. That works better when you haven't got subtle differences in height. If I were to do that here, obviously the taller guys would feel the pressure and the shorter one would not, and that could create different problems. So you want to be intelligent and use strategy and think critically. That's why I don't make any videos that say how to. I make videos that talk about what theories I'm applying to a project that I'm doing, and hopefully it's close enough and you're bright enough to be able to apply the same theory to your project. So at this point, I'm going to tickle this a little bit more, massage it, squeeze it more, and I'll just leave this till tomorrow. It would be fine in an hour probably for several things, for various operations, but I like to give it plenty of time. The last thing I'll mention is the wax paper or freezer paper. I've got the waxy side up. You can probably see the shine. I threw that down on the table as well. So since we're going to process both sides of this, the glue excess, I can wipe that a little bit if it's really bothering me. But it won't be bonded to the table, and the paper won't really come with the wood when I take it up. So if I can, I like to throw freezer paper out it makes for easy cleanup and no accidental glue downs. Because my bench is wood, despite the fact that I had craft paper. What would have happened is the wood would have soaked overnight without the wax paper, without the freezer paper. It is soaked through the butcher paper or craft paper into the wood, and then it'd be stuck to the table, and then when I ripped it off, this paper would be junk, which I try to preserve as long as I can. So freezer paper is good. And we'll see everybody when we're ready to send these through and put a final finish on everything.